So Max Hall is quarterbacking in the Alumni game on Friday. Joins us live from Arizona, and he's on a tight schedule. So we're gonna bring him in, and we'll keep Elaine with us because we still have 5 questions that we've got to do.
Love it.
Max, good evening.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
What are you? Are you cutting a new album? What's this?
Are you in studio? Like, what's going on right now with the whole like mic guard and all that kind of stuff?
Bro, you guys know I got my own podcast, don't you?
Yes, we do know this.
So I finally got legit. I got some gear.
That looks good.
Awesome.
Let us introduce you to the great Elaine Bradley, drummer for Neon Trees.
Elaine,
Max Hall.
Hello, Max Hall.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I just feel bad for you having to hang out with those dudes. Other than that,
Why would you say that?
We're your brothers, and you know that. Come on.
So allegedly,
that's why I can say that.
I know. That's exactly right.
We were at BYU at the same time. Allegedly, there you go. I wonder if we once walked the halls together. Well, maybe we visited
and
the
I'm sure it was a
Cougar
magical moment when we did.
You were making music out on the field. You were the maestro out on the field, and Elaine was playing guitar and then drums and then becoming world famous and
it was
cutting records like everybody.
So we got
talks.
the four members of the Neon Trees are BYU grads, and the great Max Hall is the winningest quarterback at BYU, all at school at the same time. And yet here in 2023, we finally brought you together.
It feels like it should have happened a long time ago, but I'm glad it's happening.
It was a special time back then, It's different now. It's not the same.
Max, you got Ty Detmer. Is he ready to go Friday night on the Alumni game at Lavelle Edwards Stadium? You and he are teaming up with Team Royal. How's Ty's mind? How's his body? Is he ready?
Are we live right now?
We're always live. Come on.
We're always live?
Yes.
Okay, I'm in. So Ty's going to be ready. And the only reason he's going to be ready is because of me. All right. I forced him out there to our quarterback trainings, right? Made sure he was on point throwing the ball. So he's been throwing the ball a little bit. I've been reviewing film from last year, showing him what I did. Okay. I said, this is how you win it. And so he's ready to go. We got film going. We got practice going. He'll be ready.
Max, you know that he told us a couple weeks ago that the standard that you set for this game last year was ridiculous. He's actually a little ticked off about it because he says, how are we going to live up to that? A Hail Mary to end the game. First of all, you brought a playbook last year. You ran a bunch of stuff. You guys looked great. You were in shape. You were throwing the ball like you were still playing for the Cardinals. And then you throw a Hail Mary, and he's not happy about the standard.
Listen, Ty should know about standard. I mean, come on, he's a Heisman Trophy winner. You know what I'm saying? Like, I set the bar low compared to what we should see this year from Ty. We're expecting great things from Ty, but it's funny that he says that because I think one of the main reasons he wanted me on the team is so I could bring that playbook. He wants that playbook in hand so that we can dice him up, man. I'm telling you.
Has he been studying it?
It's our playbook. ALA.
For ALA Queen
You better
Tree.
know it, right? Yeah.
So how much, and he said that he's going to play a little and then he's going to have you play a little. How much are the two of you expecting to play Friday?
I don't know. I'm sure we'll trade off a little bit, man. We're going to have fun, but it don't matter. Both of us are ready. It just doesn't matter which one's in.
Are you impressed with his arms zipping down 30 yards downfield?
Yeah, his nickname over here is the microwave because the guy's always hot. He doesn't need a warm-up throw. Doesn't need a warm-up throw. I got to take a few warm-up throws, right? He shows up, throws an 18-yard comeback to the field like it's nothing. I go, okay.
Wow.
Microwave, there he is.
His reputation was that like nobody would get the ball up on time in the right spots like that guy. Like it would always come up, like guys aren't even into their break. The ball's coming out. They come out of their break, bam, it's on him. Like he was just phenomenal that way. We have some of our viewers are asking, hey, will we be able to see the Alumni game live on BYU TV? And the answer is yes, it will be on BYU TV. And so they'll be able to watch it. Were you surprised at how many people watched that game? First of all, that came to the stadium to watch it. And then actually we were blown away by how many people tuned in and watched that game. Were you surprised by that, the interest?
Actually, I mean, yes and no. And I'll tell you, yes, I was, because no one's ever tuned into an Alumni game like that. But at the same time, I thought BYU TV and the coaches and the administration did a great job of putting it on and promoting it to where it made it exciting to watch the game. But I think because the bar was set high last year, I think, and everybody saw it or heard about it or saw the highlights, I think there's way more anticipation and excitement about the game this year. So I heard we might have double the amount of people there in person. Everybody's asking how to watch it. So
Yeah,
I think it's going to be big.
I saw a tweet from your high school down there where you and Ty coach about how proud they are to have you two representing them in the alumni game in Utah, which I think is cool. Former BYU quarterback Max Hall with us on the Wise Guys, live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and ysguys.com, along with Elaine Bradley of Neon Trees. You know, you're gonna play for Royal, which is different than last year. The guy who caught the winning pass for you is now a guy who's going to try to intercept you because Keel and those guys are still on Team Navy. Is that going to be different for you?
Oh, Keel's already talked his trash. He's already texted me and told me all about it. Actually, I instigated it because I sent him a picture of him holding up the ball after he caught the Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Because that was Brian's moment. That was his only touchdown in the stadium. It was his moment. Like, live it up. So I sent it to him kind of. And he's like, yeah, I'm just sorry that you're going to be on the losing team this year. And I said, well, we'll see about that. But the only thing is I'm super excited to be on Ty's team and to play with those guys. But most of the guys that I actually played with at BYU are going to be on the other team. So it'll be fun. I'm sure there'll be a little bit of talking and having a good time out there.
You've got some good receivers. Like, we were going through the list of who the receivers are for you and Ty. I'm here
Yeah.
you know, Margin Hooks, James Dye, Neil Pau. Like, I've been watching Neil work out. He's still trying to catch on with a national, an NFL team.
He's still legit. He's ready.
Aleva Hifo's still in phenomenal shape. So you got some good receivers to work with this year. Probably better than Keel as a receiver, who's really a linebacker, right? But you had some good receivers last year. But how about that group? Are you looking forward to working with that group?
Yeah, I am, because they're guys I've never worked with, never thrown to. Honestly, haven't been around a whole lot. So I'm excited to be with them, to work with them. Just to have fun. I mean, but I am going to miss. It's going to be hard for me not throwing the ball to Austin and Dennis.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's going to be tough.
Those are your guys. I get
Beck's going to throw to Harleen the whole night, too. So I think Dennis is just he might switch over to your team due to inactivity.
You know what? Dennis is going to show up, run maybe a stick route or something, and then he's just going to hang out and have fun. Like, he's, I don't know how serious he can take it with some of his injuries and stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't have the hips for it, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about dancing. He doesn't have the hips for it.
That's cold.
Yeah.
So
how many times did he dislocate that hip? 3 times in the NFL?
Yeah.
Is it 3 times?
It's just like,
I think it was.
I feel so bad. Whenever I think about it, it just makes me feel bad because he was on such a roll and playing. He was one of the best tight ends in the National Football League, and then the hip thing just got him.
Hey, we've got you for just a few more minutes. So not only did you win 32 games at BYU, 33 if you count the alumni game last year. So we're going to count that. That's 33. You threw for over 11,000 yards and 94 touchdowns. Elaine saw most of those at the stadium. If she wasn't at the stadium, we're sure she was watching. Are you ready to reveal your top 5 plays? The Max Hall top 5.
Yes.
You ready?
All right.
Let's start.
Although I'm still back and forth on the 5th one.
But we're going to start with 5. We want to start with 5
we work
and
to
go
1.
down to 1. Is that going to mess you up because you're not ready for 5 yet?
No, I'll tell you.
Okay.
So here's number
5.
Number 5, we're playing San Diego State. And this is kind of a goofy one.
Okay.
We're playing San Diego State, and we're out of timeouts, and we're driving down the field, and the clock's winding. And we run a play. We get stuffed on the 1-yard line. It's 4th down, and Coach and I yells out, Chevy. You guys remember this? Chevy, which at the time is quarterback sneak.
Right.
Well, I get up to go quarterback sneak, and there's 11 guys in both A gaps. So I looked at the sideline. I go, I'm just going to take off to the sideline and see. And so I just took off, and everybody pinched down. I ended up scoring. Doesn't seem like a big play, but it was one of my favorite ones.
Max, Elaine just said to me, there can't be 11 guys in both A gaps. That's 22 guys. There's only 11 guys on defense. So
she's right.
She's right. So there was
she's right.
Okay.
But it seemed like there were 22 guys out there. All right, number 4.
Okay. Hold on. I keep going forward. So hold on. Number 4 is, let me tell you what number 4 is.
All right.
Senior Bowl game, or not Senior Bowl game, but the bowl game my senior year. We're playing Oregon State, and we beat them pretty good. But I took a shot in that game. I stepped up in the pocket. I took a shot, and on that shot, I kind of got high load. I partially tore my MCL. I cracked a rib. Blood's coming out of my mouth. And I remember getting up like, oh man, that hurt. But I remember Coach Doman looking at me being like, are you okay? And for some reason it set me off. I'm like, just give me the next play. Like, don't ask me if I'm okay. Give me the next play. But all of Oregon State was chirping at me. they were chirping at me from the sideline. So the next play we ran 95 and Dennis went right down the middle. I threw a touchdown pass to him and I kind of did the high knees down Oregon State sideline.
Nice.
But what was funny about it is I almost fell because my MCL almost gave out.
Oh,
So
my
it
goodness.
ended up backfiring.
The
Listen.
show must go on. I'm going to call that the show must go on play.
That was
Show
a
must go
super
on.
windy night. I was there with my kids. My sweet daughters were probably saying, "Suck it up, Max. Get back in the game."
Exactly.
As you're doing that. All right, that's awesome. Number 3, what do you got?
Number 3 is 4th and 18. Utah, my sophomore
How
year.
can that be number 3?
I can hardly wait for 1 and 2 if
Oh
that's
my
number 3.
gosh.
You
if
know
that's
what 1
number
and 2
3.
are, but
I do know.
number 3, 4th and 18. We're on our own 10-yard line. Coach and I just basically signals me 4 verts,
Utah,
3
by
by
the way.
1, 4 verts. I happened to give Austin a little stutter and go. I rolled out of the pocket. I had a separated shoulder at the time. I had separated my shoulder the week before versus Wyoming, fully separated. And so I threw that ball as far as I could. It went about 35 or 40 yards, as far as I could. Somehow Austin got behind the defense. But I tell you what, even more so than the next 2 plays or the next one of them, I have never heard LaVell Edwards Stadium that loud.
It was
when I completed
amazing.
that pass.
Yeah.
The feeling was
Well,
unbelievable.
while the ball was in the air, I've never heard it quieter.
Oh,
And then when the ball got caught, I've never heard it louder.
I felt like the
The
whole place was
contrast.
vibrating. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was right in front of Ron McBride, which made it all the
Oh,
more
it was-
sweeter
that
when
was
Collie
something
brought that
even
down. All right. So if that's number 3, what's number 2?
Number 2's the pass to McKay Jacobson in the back of the end zone.
Against Oklahoma. Yeah.
Yep.
That was big. I was there right on the sideline.
They
That
beat the
was-
Sooners 14-13. They had 80% of the crowd, but your 20% were the only ones making noise after that catch.
I just saw the player of the game for that game just today. Colby Clausen.
Colby Clausen.
Colby Clausen.
Yeah.
Yeah, people don't even know. He knocked Sam Bradford out of that game. That had a big impact. So
Now,
Big
Max,
impact.
let me ask you about that play because you'd hit Pitta like 5 times on that drive. And so we just assumed Pitta was going to get it again. And then you see all of a sudden Jacobson's just out there by himself?
Yeah, so the play was just a spread 2-by-2 formation, and we called it Winston. I think even Blaine, that you guys might have called it
Yes,
Winston.
we
but inside guys have choice routes, outside guys have the digs on top, right?
yeah.
So, yeah, and you're right, because in that drive I hit Dennis like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
And so on that play, you watch the safety, the linebacker, and the corner all go whoop.
They
right
jump
to
him.
Dennis,
Yep.
and they all left McKay in the back. That was one of those throws where it's just like, don't screw it up. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
get him a catchable
and
ball.
if you try to steer it too much, you'll throw it low. So you just have to relax and throw it.
Stay in rhythm and throw it like any other throw.
And then
right?
he caught it like it caught 1,000 balls, just kind of caught it, stood there.
It was awesome.
Place went nuts at least.
Hometown.
Yep.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was awesome.
That was a great one. But now, so number 1, I know what it is, but
I mean, come on, it's overtime. Utah senior year. Andrew George is still running. Dog pile. I almost died in the dog pile afterwards. Carried off the field the whole thing. I mean, it was unbelievable.
We've had Andrew on here, and of course, we went in great detail of that play with you last fall. But you're literally at the bottom of the pile, out of breath, and you're thinking, I'm not going to live through this celebration.
Well, I had just sprinted all the way down the field, all the adrenaline going on. Now I got 5 linemen laying on top of me. I said, this is it. I'm going to die on this field right now.
almost
But hey, if I'm going to go out, that's how I'm going to go out in a game winner against Utah.
I love it. I love it.
Hey, last question for you, and then we'll let you go because we'll see you here Friday. But how important is this activity, this alumni game, to the former players as the current players get ready to launch into the Big 12 where BYU's never been? For this powwow of the greats, how important is that to you guys?
I think it's super important. There's a culture, there's a brotherhood that goes with any football team, and especially at BYU with the tradition that we have. And so I think it's important for us alumni to come back as often as we can, be at practice, support the team, do everything we can, especially in this big step that we're about to take going into this conference. And so I thought last year was kind of the beginning of what this event is going to be in the future. And hopefully more and more guys start coming back and being part of, feeling like they're part of it again. I think there's a lot of us that go away and we don't feel like we're part of it anymore. So I think the BYU staff is doing a really good job of bringing that back. And also like us interacting with the players. Like, I don't know many of the players that well, so it gives me a chance to see them, meet them, being around them. So, I mean, I want to be there every year. I want to be part of this thing every single year.
Well, you keep winning it, and they're going to keep you coming back to defend your title.
I don't know what you're going to do to top the Hail Mary, but I'm sure you'll come up with something.
I think one thing's cool.
And Dave and I'll be there calling it.
We'll be calling it. One thing that's cool is that you've got your quarterback from this last season who is going to play at BYU. He's on his mission. He'll be in the Provo MTC Friday night while you and Ty are down at the stadium throwing the football around. That's one of those small world things where, like, how does that even happen?
Very small world. And actually, he was on the podcast last year. You guys remember that?
Yeah,
That's right.
popped in.
He walked by when we had you on. That's right.
Yeah, he walked by, said hi or whatever. So yeah, he's excited to get to BYU after his mission. But he actually got his visa and is on a plane right now.
Oh, he's on the
way
plane?
to Columbia.
Columbia.
He's on his way to
That's
Columbia
fantastic.
right now.
That's
Cool.
good for him. He'll miss the cheers from the stadium and be
Yeah,
just
but that
fine.
would be too hard for him. I think. I'm glad he's not. That would be tough for him to sit in there and not be part of it.
Hey, Greg Romano, one of our guys watching on the live stream tonight, said, I saw Max speak in Nampa, Idaho earlier this year. He's an inspiration to many.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice job.
We
I
love
hearing
all
stuff
the
like
great
that.
things you're doing. You're
Hey,
doing great stuff.
see you
brother.
Friday.
See you on Friday.
Appreciate you guys. We'll see you.
The great Max Hall.